Well, can I read my quote before I walk the dog? It'll be a lot easier if
Oh,
I read.
yes, go for it. Why don't
Thanks.
you read?
Okay. Do your duty faithfully and conscientiously and put it above everything else. Then you will please me. Neither praise nor blame should distract you from the path of your duty. Leave aside all other considerations but your appointed duty. So I guess it means I should go walk my dog now. Anyway, I'm going to try to put headphones on and listen to everybody's quote, but thank you for everything,
Yeah.
and I appreciate all your work you've done. It's really great.
Yeah.
And I like my t-shirt.
Marcia, can you read that again?
Sure. Okay. Okay. Am I still unmuted? Okay. Do your duty faithfully and conscientiously and put it above everything else. Then you will please me. Neither praise nor blame should distract you from the path of your duty. Leave aside all other considerations but your appointed duty.
Yeah.
There's a signature on the bottom, but I can't read what it says. It says MS something.
MS Irani.
Oh, okay. I couldn't read. Okay. Well, I'm going to plug in some headphones and hope I don't miss anything. So,
okay.
Okie doke. Jai Baba, everybody.
Yeah, Jai Baba.
Let me mute myself.
Jai Baba.
Baba, all right.
I got, believe me, 3 o'clock in the morning, I got something, I wrote it down.
Go for it.
There is only one that you can never thank enough, for the blessings are countless. If that makes any sense.
And that's what came to you?
Yeah, there's only one that you can never thank enough.
Yeah. Mara once said,
yes.
Mara once said, if you thank Baba for all that he's done for you, your whole life wouldn't be long enough.
Ah.
Yeah.
So we do have hands up. Let's go down the hands and then we can be pretty loose about this. But Noreen, you're up.
I can't raise my hand, so consider me in the pile.
Oh, consider you raised. Okay. Noreen, go ahead.
Jai Baba, everybody. Thank you for my quote. Appreciate it. I believe in self-control, not coercion. Coercion is based on oppression and results in fear and hatred. Self-control requires courage and may be induced by love. A person will do many things for those whom he loves, which he would not ordinarily do, which he would not ordinarily have the strength of mind and power to do. How many habits has a person been able to break through love, which he would never have the strength to break without love?
Beautiful.
MS Irani.
Hey, can you read that again? I mean, these are really, one time is not enough for my brain.
Sure. I believe in self-control, not in coercion. Coercion is based on oppression and results in fear and hatred. Self-control requires courage and may be induced by love. A person will do many things for those whom he loves, which he would not ordinarily do, which he would not ordinarily have the strength of mind and power to do. How many habits has a person been able to break through love, which he would never have the strength to break without love? Jai Baba.
Beautiful. Yeah, willpower doesn't quite do the job.
Yep. Nope.
I remember putting that one together. Such a strong quote. Show us your artwork on that.
Can you see it? There we go.
So pretty.
Oh, lovely.
Just got started.
Great idea.
It was Angela's idea.
Uh-huh.
Jai Baba. Next, Diana, go ahead.
Okay, let me see. I didn't print it out, so I'm just reading it from the screen. And I hear coercion here, so tell me what you think. This service, which the master exacts, is for your own spiritual benefit. However, your service must be spontaneous, willing, wholehearted, unconditional, and not expecting any reward. MS Irani. That word exacts sounds like extracts to me. It makes me shake.
But what
Yeah.
about willing?
But I have to be, but then I know, just a second. And then he says, however, I don't know how you get to the however, your service must be spontaneous, willing,
Willing.
wholehearted, unconditional, and not expecting any reward. So I'm getting confused because the service which is being exacted, which, you know, there's such an imperative there. And then underneath that, I've got to be spontaneous and willing. I'm confused.
Well, what Baba exacts is not coercion. What he is exacting is for us to be loving.
He's exacting that willingness and like he's provoking the spontaneity. He's provoking the willingness.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I'll go with it.
They used to say, Balna too used to say, Baba would ask you to do something,
Yeah.
order you to do something. All the wherewithal to do it came with it.
Oh, cool. Oh, cool. I'll go with that.
In other words, he would, he would exact something, or he would order them to do something. And when he did order it, all the ability to carry it out was contained.
And the
in the order.
energy, not just ability, but the energy and the impetus.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Now I love it. Now I love it.
Beautiful painting behind you there, Farishte.
Thank you. I grabbed it. You know, I'm a Baba-holic when it comes to
Yeah.
his images and paintings, and this one just popped up today.
Wow, lovely.
Beautiful.
Marge, you're up.
Happy New Year, everybody. And here is my beautiful quote from Baba. You can keep only one beloved in your heart, although you can and may keep many human loves in your mind. By offering pure, unadulterated love to anyone and anything, you will be loving me. MS Irani, beautiful.
What does that, how do you interpret that, Marge?
That Baba is in everyone, and when we love unconditionally and purely others, we're loving him.
Beautiful. Yep.
So there is no separation.
Yeah.
Thank you for that quote,
Yeah.
Jeff and Angela and Baba.
His hands.
Yeah.
Heidi?
Hi, everybody. I think I had two quotes this week, one from Jeff and one because I really needed it. I'm going to do the first one quickly. I never saw this quote from Baba and was struggling with a lot of people pulling at me, and I was getting irritated. And I opened up a Baba calendar. I was sorting out old Baba calendars and the quotes, and this fell on the floor. And here's the quote from Baba. If you offer your cheek, knowing you can easily wring their neck, that is excellent. So that helped me this week. Then I have the quote from Jeff, which is even more powerful. Okay, from MS Irani. Spirituality does not consist of intellectual knowledge of true values, but in their realization. It is this knowledge of inner realization that is worthy of being called spiritual understanding, and this is far more dependent upon the heart than upon the mind. Knowledge of the intellect alone is on the same footing as mere information, and being superficial, it moves on the surface of life. It gives the shadow and not the substance of reality. The hidden depths of the ocean of life can be gauged only by the sounding of the heart. M.S. Hirani.
Beautiful.
So I read that again. Anybody need it again? Diana does. I'll do it quickly. Spirituality does not consist of intellectual knowledge of true values, but in their realization. It is this knowledge of inner realization that is worthy of being called spiritual understanding, and this is far more dependent upon the heart than upon the mind. Knowledge of the intellect alone is on the same footing as mere information, and being superficial, it moves on the surface of life. It gives the shadow and not the substance of reality. The hidden depths of the ocean of life can be gauged only by the sounding of the heart.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So for me, this is really important because I'm always in that process of balancing mind and heart in whatever I do. So this was really, it really was appropriate for me.
Yeah. Lovely, Heidi.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So we're pretty loose here. If anybody would like to just jump in and say a word or two, feel free to unmute or we're not heavily moderating this. Just FYI.
Can I follow up on that one?
I know.
Yes, because it's similar. God does not listen to the language of the tongue and its japs, mantras, devotional songs, and so on. He does not listen to the language of the mind and its routine meditations, concentrations, and thoughts about God. He only listens to the language of the heart and its message of love, which needs no ceremony or show, only silent devotion for the beloved. M.S. Hirani.
Beautiful.
Angela, might as well we go in order, right?
Yeah, generally speaking, yes. I'm
You
gonna
know,
do whatever, but
I'm just wondering if we'll have time for people to read them twice, but maybe not, huh?
we have nothing but time. We don't have
But
another event until ages from now.
Okay.
I'll take the
may I?
Oh, we have hands up. Let's go through the hands up. But if you wanted to comment on someone's, you have your hand up. Yes, you're in order. Don't worry. But if you wanted to comment on someone's quote, feel free to.
Okay, thanks.
I did want to call on Cassandra next because she actually had been co-host for a minute there and couldn't raise her hand.
Thank you. Jai Baba. Happy New Year. So I've been struggling with balancing heart and mind like Heidi. And I go to a lot of these readings and I'm in several God Speaks meetings and so forth. And we get into these heavy debates about what Baba means. And I always feel like I should just shut up and leave it alone. So here's my quote. Unless you question, you will never learn. Let not the false sense of propriety or fear of blasphemy defer you from questioning the why and wherefore of your being. The answers to these questions will lead you to perfection. I'll put my trust in that.
Cassandra, I think it's deter.
I was going to ask that question. Could you read the whole thing again?
Sure. Unless you question, you will never learn. Let not the false sense of propriety or fear of blasphemy deter you from questioning the why and wherefore of your being. The answers to these questions will lead you to perfection.
Beautiful.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. You don't have to buy into a doctrine, hook, line, and sinker. You can question it. Yeah. Yeah.
But then there's the Hoppus quote about fitting a fortunate slave to carry out every command without question. So there's something to ponder. Hey, Baba.
You're not saying that Baba contradicts himself, are you? Because we know that never happens.
Never heard of that. Go ahead.
Who's next?
Adeshte?
Okay. All right, this is lovely and long and about love. Love is one, but it is of several kinds. The lowest is attraction. It develops with progress in evolution and transforms into real love, which is like a stream flowing silent, serene, passionless, eternal, perfect, and pure. Divine love is the highest of all, but it is not silent. It has terrible longing. It is not peaceful. The winds of evolution, reincarnation, and involution blow the stream of attraction through the inanimate world, turning it into a river in the animal and human kingdom, and finally transforming it into an ocean of divine love upon realization. Isn't that perfect? Bye-bye.
Definitely like to hear that again.
Yes? Shall I read it again?
Go for it.
Love is one, but it is of several kinds. The lowest is attraction. It develops with progress in evolution and transforms into real love, which is like a stream flowing silent, serene, passionless, eternal, perfect, and pure. Divine love is the highest of all, but it is not silent. It has terrible longing. It is not peaceful. The winds of evolution, reincarnation, and involution blow the stream of attraction through the inanimate world, turning it into a river in the animal and human kingdom, and finally transforming it into an ocean of divine love upon realization.
Yeah. Since we have time.
A lot like the Advancing Stream of a Life little booklet that Baba has that I love so much. That, you know, if we can just imagine this infinite intelligence is just advancing forward into self-realization, all of it. Every single piece of creation in illusion is advancing toward that goal. Lovely.
And we never escape the whim.
All said and done, we're still back to that, aren't we? Since we have nothing but time, we have 3 hours, I'd like to really digest each quote. So pardon me if there's some silence between. It's just nice to kind of let it sink in a little. Alan Ray, you're up. Are you there? Alan Ray? Maybe
He keeps switching around. It's Ray Allen, but now he's Alan Ray today.
He switched around. He'll be back. Hugh, you're next.
All right. My quote is, however one may pierce you with sharp words, you should bear them quietly and with patience. M.S. Irani.
Short but sweet, huh?
I'll do it again. However one may pierce you with sharp words, you should bear them quietly and with patience.
People been giving you a hard time lately?
Not that I know of. What do you know that I don't know?
It's his dog.
It's his dog.
What
That
the?
sounded like Heidi's quote about the turning your cheek, right?
Yeah.
It sounded like that.
Well, bear it in mind for the next year. How's that? I'll make sure to think of a few things to trouble you with.
That's all right. You can don't bother yourself.
And don't go to extra measures.
No.
Alan Ray?
Am I unmuted?
Surely are.
Oh, how about that? Well, this is a special quote from Mayor Baba. And it's, he nailed me. What can I say? Before I start, a shout out to you, Flick there. It's been many, many years. Once upon a time back at Baba's birthday celebration, Flick handed me what was known as the pink pamphlet. The rest is history. So here we go. Whoops. Ages have made the mind so dirty that it is quite hard for it to be pure and honest. It is the mind's nature to doubt, to reason, to be happy, to be sick, to be sore, and so forth. Had it not been its nature, there would have been no need for birth after birth. Imagination has created all this, and the world is so ensnared in it, it is as if bogged down in mire. And extrication from the morass becomes impossible. There is only one remedy for it: honest love for God and help from a perfect master. Jay Baba.
Beautiful.
I am going down the list of digitally raised hands, in case people are wondering.
Alan Ray, could you read that one again?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, if I can get it to turn on my cell phone here. Yes. Okay. Ages have made the mind so dirty that it is quite hard for it to be pure and honest. It is the mind's nature to doubt, to reason, to be happy, to be sick, to be sore, and so forth. Had it not been its nature, there would have been no need for birth after birth. Imagination has created all this, and the world is so ensnared in it, it is as if bogged down in mire. And extrication from the morass becomes impossible. There is only one remedy for it: honest love for God and help from a perfect master.
Beautiful.
Well said, Baba.
Thank you, Baba.
Thank you, Baba. Yeah, so for those who are just joining, there is a digital way to raise hand, and I've put that in chat. You can poke around, you'll find it under participants. But the chat is also a button at the bottom. Anyway, I am running down the list of people who've raised their hands, but this is fairly loose. If you have something to say about a particular quote, the way it strikes you, feel free to chime in as well. Cliff, you're up next.
Happy New Year, everybody. Jay Baba. The best way to cleanse the heart and to prepare for the stilling of the mind is to lead a normal worldly life. Living in the midst of your day-to-day duties, responsibilities, likes, dislikes, etc., will help you. All these become the very means for the purification of your heart. This natural, normal method depends upon its success upon a clear idea of the force behind your thoughts and the facts underlying your actions. Meher Baba, MS Arani.
Please read it again.
All right. First, I gotta get it a little bigger here. All right. The best way to cleanse the heart and to prepare for the stilling of the mind is to lead a normal worldly life. Living in the midst of your day-to-day duties, responsibilities, likes, dislikes, etc., will help you. All these become the very means for the purification of your heart. This natural, normal method depends upon its success upon a clear idea of the force behind your thoughts and the facts underlying your actions. MS Arani. I really like my quote. I know they're randomly went out, but I really like it a lot. Jay Baba.
Yeah, beautiful.
Anything it speaks to directly to you? Any reason specifically you like it? Just curious.
Oh, yeah, I didn't really hear you. Well, yeah, because it just kind of, it's easy to have the thought that you're not doing it right. And it's not since it is as at the end, it says, the Baba says, the clear idea behind the force behind the thoughts and the facts underlying your actions is what it comes down to. But it's just about whatever your day is and just your daily life. You don't have to go to the Himalayas or you don't have to do whatever. Just keep remembering Baba and then as far as actions, try to get in touch with why you do what you do. And I think it's really a very good, very practical kind of quote.
Good.
Angela, you're muted.
Sorry about that.
Oh, so you're calling. Okay. So I got two quotes, so I gave him one. And mine is a very short. Feel that you are watched by me, Emma Sarani. Feel that you are watched by me, Jay Baba.
I think Baba said that to Adi Kairani.
I feel like it's a song seed.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Jay Baba.
You remember the circumstances, Jeff?
No, it was when he was young, but I don't recall, but I do remember. Yeah. It's a particular, that's his nazar, being aware of his nazar on you.
Go ahead. Okay, so Marvin's going to read another quote, but we have pictures to share. Are you going to read, Marv?
These are photos that we found during the purge of it's Mira Baba.
This is from 1965, I think.
At least it's only a purge of stuff.
Yeah, we didn't
And
purge
this
this.
wonderful picture of
obviously.
Monty. With the one at the
Oh,
top.
beautiful.
And then this wonderful picture of Mara. With Jesus and the picture of Jesus at the bottom.
And Baba. Yeah.
So beautiful.
Anyhow, human beings, having passed through all the travails of lower evolutionary processes, should insist upon the reward thereof, which is spiritual birth in this very life, and should not rest content with the promise in the hereafter. Poise of mind, once gained, automatically and unknowingly brings about a readjustment of material surroundings. And one finds himself in harmony and at peace with the world. Conservatism, intolerance, pride, and selfishness will fall away. Everything will be put on a new meaning and assume a purpose.
Mm.
That's Meher Bob.
Can we hear that again?
I just want to say what care Angela put in to send these quotes, because there's a beautiful frame around them. What a lovely gift.
For those who weren't here at the very beginning, that that decorative frame, that's a mandala that I actually designed to be colored. So feel free to print them and color them. It's part of the fun. You're interacting with the quote.
Hey, Marvin, someone asked that you read that again, that quote.
Okay.
I have to open my phone. Oh.
Human beings, having passed through all the travails of lower evolutionary processes, should insist upon the reward thereof, which is spiritual birth in this very life, and should not rest content with the promise in hereafter. Poise of mind, once gained, automatically and unknowingly brings about a readjustment of material surroundings, and one finds himself in harmony and at peace with the world. Conservatism, intolerance, pride, and selfishness will fall away. Everything will be put in a new meaning and assume a purpose.
Beautiful.
So Michelle, how did you decide to give Marvin the long one and you took the simple one?
Because he reads so beautifully.
Oh, that's a good reason.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
It's like, oh.
And Michelle only got through the 3rd grade.
Ouch.
Oh, you're funny, Jeff.
Michelle, if you could put in chat the quote number that Marvin got. Somebody was asking for a copy of that. I can send that via email. Dennis says he has to leave early. Go ahead, Dennis.
Thank all of you for your indulgence. There is greater value in conquering the heart of a single enemy than in gaining victory over the bodies of thousands of enemies. And my thought on that is that at 73 years old, I have identified the heart of the greatest enemy that I have. And unfortunately, it's my heart. So I will take this for 2021 as an encouragement to renew my own commitment to trying to conquer my lower self, which is a rather larger lower self to conquer. Thank you.
Dennis, would you please read it again?
There is greater valor in conquering the heart of a single enemy than in gaining victory over the bodies of thousands of enemies. M.S. Irani.
Very good. And Barbara.
Can you read that again? Can you read that again?
That's a quote worth framing upon one's bedstand.
I'll be happy to. All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's a short quote, and it's something that for those who want to, they can memorize it. I will certainly be doing that. There is greater valor in conquering the heart of a single enemy than in gaining victory over the bodies of thousands of enemies.
Conjures up the image of Gandhi in my mind.
Can I tell you guys something special? If you look down, there's Marlene. Marlene and I went to India together in 1990, I think it was. Is that right? I have not seen or heard from her yet, or since then, until just now. Completely lost track of her, and here she is in this event.
She's right above you on my screen.
He doesn't
Right,
call.
she
He
is
doesn't
right above.
write.
Amazing, Baba.
It really is. I mean, just what a gift has been given. Besides these quotes, this is a very special gift.
Hey, I just love bringing our Baba family together in whatever way we can find. And Barbara, you're up.
Yeah, that makes it like a real Sahavas, doesn't it? Where we see people we haven't seen in years and they just show up from India or wherever. I love that last quote, both as for another enemy and for myself as my worst enemy. So it's a lot of good stuff to think about. Okay, where's my quote? My quote is, one should not feel pleasure for what one has, or misery for what one has not. One should not feel pleasure for what one has, or misery for what one has not. It is Maya, illusion. In some cases, I work through material downfall, in some through their material welfare, but I always have their spiritual upliftment at heart in the background. And I think what struck me right away for me about that was that I sometimes have this terrible, I have, for instance, a family member who's going through something terrible, and I try to help with money or other ways, and it doesn't work. It doesn't help at all. And at the same time, I'm living right now a very comfortable life where I have everything, and I sometimes feel terribly guilty about that. And anyway, so this quote helps me to remind me that we each have our own path. I hope I didn't overshare there. Thanks.
Can you read it again?
Oh, sure. One should not feel pleasure for what one has, or misery for what one has not. It is Maya, illusion. In some cases, I work through material downfall, in some through their material welfare, but I always have their spiritual upliftment at heart in the background.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's so intense. You just have to take a minute to digest for a sec.
So Angela, if people want the quotes mailed to them, maybe the reader could read the PDF number? Is that what's gonna help?
That would definitely help.
Okay.
And then you can take your own personal notes. I think personally that these should be printed as a little booklet, as a
Yes.
I agree.
a quote a day or something like that. There's 653 that I've gotten from Jeff. Obviously, there's more that could be generated.
Fundraiser for the Circle of Friends.
Ooh, a fundraiser.
And also with your mandalas.
Yeah.
Oh, yay. Well, they've all been made into PDF, so it would be easy to collate what I've already done. That's because that's already been done. Mary Ellen, you're up.
And make it into a Amazon print by demand.
Ah, well, I'm thinking that if we were to like officially print, we'd have to know the source of all the quotes. None of them came with notation. If you'd have to recreate
No, we
all that.
don't. We're just doing it informally.
Oh, okay. Well, that can be done. I could certainly set it up as an Amazon.
And the fun will be for people to find the source themselves.
That's it. Do your own homework. Sorry.
A great many of them are from the discourses.
Yeah.
The 3-volume discourses.
The mandalas are in a calendar, which
Yes,
Angela
that's
has
right.
made.
A coloring calendar I made, yeah. Same mandala.
I'm looking at
Mary
it.
Ellen, go ahead.
Thank you. Happy New Year. The best is just to remember me, leaving everything to me. This is how you should live in the world. Otherwise, it is too complicated. M.S. Irani. So
That's a good one.
it is. It's for me. For me, it's very simple, very direct. Your total focus should be on him. It's kind of like the rest is white noise in the background. It is to him that you offer everything every day. It's to him that you think about every day. So there's a request to read it again. The best is just to remember me and forget everything else, leaving everything to me. This is how you should live in the world. Otherwise, it is too complicated. M.S. Irani.
I like it's simple to the point.
Let's get this straight, folks.
Cut to the chase here.
We're trying.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll try hard.
It's our New Year resolution.
Let's do it yet again.
Is it like the saying they say in New York, forget about it?
Forget about it.
Yeah, just forget about it. Life is so important to be taken seriously. That's the one quote I will never forget.
That's it. And Shraddha. Shraddha, did you hear? There you are. You're unmuted, but we can't hear you. Yeah, sorry. We'll have to come back. Sorry about that. Ken and Donna? Ken. Hey, Ken, are you there? He's probably stepped away for a minute. All right, moving along here. Sue Lerner. You need to unmute? Yeah.
There, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Happy New Year, everybody. Jay Baba. I wasn't sure how this worked because I got one message that said, here is your, let me see. It said, your Mayor Center holiday quote 2020, don't open till midnight. And that quote was, I want you to make me your constant companion, Mayor Baba. And I was like, just feeling real grateful when I read that. It's a very common quote, but it really touched me. And then the next quote, which was the one that you sent out, Angela, it says, I would not mind even one falling in love with me. I can purify. But when you fall in love with anybody else, you cannot call it love. Love is pure as God. It gives and never asks. That needs grace. So I wasn't quite sure how to interpret that. I thought, well, for sure, I'm going to be reading this again on December 31st, 2021 and let it sink in. But I have not heard that quote before.
Can you read it again, please?
Mm-hmm. I would not mind, excuse me, I would not mind even one falling in love with me. I can purify. But when you fall in love with anybody else, you cannot call it love. Love is pure as God. It gives and never asks. That needs grace. Any comments?
I never heard that either. And I'm thinking of a particular Bible lover who passed away, but he always used to want quotes on, it's Johnny Grumet, always used to want quotes on love. What's the source of that quote? Because that, I feel like that's what he was always asking, was the difference between being in love, which we all know. I mean, I think we all can feel the differences, but I never heard that quote before. Jeff, do you know where that's from?
Well, those are the kind of messages that Baba gave to the women back in the 30s. You know, when they were traveling on the blue bus tours and that period. And there's another line that's like that. When you love, you give. When you fall in love, you want.
Okay, yes, I've read that.
It's a little bit like that. But those are the kind of things that Baba gave to those women. But that's kind of postgraduate love.
Oh, interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.
Of course, they already had him, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
Baba used my love to bring me to him. So if I hadn't been in love, I don't think I would have come to Baba.
Yeah.
It was just like explosion.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why Eric said to us, when you first fall in love and then you have to rise in love.
Well, and it reminds me of, it took me 47 years of running around looking for everybody else and then giving it all up, saying, it doesn't even matter anymore. That's when Baba said, aha, now here I am. So,
yeah, beautiful.
and then once you have, for me, once Baba, you know, came, into my life, into my heart, it was unequivocal. You just don't even think twice about, at least for me, about anyone else that I may have pursued the path of. That was absolutely irrelevant. Once Baba was there, it was complete and total conviction. So that's also what it's representing for me.
Yeah, beautiful.
Back.
Jai Baba, everyone. Happy New Year. Such a beautiful idea, Angela. What a beautiful thing to do. Absolutely love the quote that I got last night. Here goes. The spiritual attitude represents nothing essentially new in the material life of the individual, but is rather a reorganization and reinterpretation of all that has existed in his life, and an infusion of new meaning into the present and future. In achieving this reorientation, the aspirant often finds himself temporarily confused. Do not lose heart, but keep me in your heart, and remember, I'm always with you. M.S. Irani. So beautiful. Just a couple years ago, when I wasn't reading too many of Baba's, well, I was kind of into reading Baba's discourses, and I was thinking to myself how suddenly the words are the same, literally what I've been reading since many years. Like, I've been in Baba family. I was born in Baba family, and it's kind of the same messages you read over and over again, and you come across them, but over a period of time, it's like a magic wand appearing over those words, that those words literally carry a different meaning to you now. So it's like someone shed a completely new perspective, gave you a completely new understanding of what that actually means, that it's hard to even communicate to the other person. I was thinking to myself, this is just amazing. That's exactly what has happened to me in the recent years. After reading and rereading The Effort and Grace and Baba's discourses, it just feels like it's that magic wand appearing all over again, that the same words, the same messages carry a completely different meaning now.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. Jai Baba.
Radha, please read the quote again.
Sure. The spiritual attitude represents nothing essentially new in the material life of the individual, but is rather a reorganization and reinterpretation of all that has existed in his life, and an infusion of new meaning into the present and future. In achieving this reorientation, the aspirant often finds himself temporarily confused. Do not lose heart, but keep me in your heart, and remember, I'm always with you. M.S. Irani. Do you know where this was from, Jeff?
Oh, let's see. I think it might be Ways to the Path in Listen Humanity. There's a discourse, Ways to the Path. It might be in that. But I put these together about 40 years ago.
Yeah, wow.
30 years ago.
Wow, yeah. It feels like it is probably from, yeah, like you said, Listen to Humanity.
The discourse is in the back, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see what number that is on your PDF?
Yeah, I think this one is 136.
136. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
I have to print that book after all.
You have to.
So many people want the whole thing. Ken, are you back? Yes, Ken. I see movement.
Hey, I guess someone called me and I left and I came back and it said you were looking for me. Can you hear me?
We surely can.
Okay. Mine is 491. It's fairly short. It's mental energy can be sublimated into spiritual channels through 1, meditation, 2, selfless service for humanity, and 3, devotion. Your love for me should have free expression in the mode or form best suited to you. Different strokes for different folks. I made that part up.
Yeah. Wait, which part is it? And again? Read it again.
Mental energy can be sublimated into spiritual channels through 1, meditation, 2, selfless service for humanity, and 3, devotion. Your love for me should have free expression in the mode or form best suited to you.
Could put you on the spot and say, which one are you picking? Rosalie, you're up.
Jay Baba.
Jay Baba, yeah.
It's funny. I mean, I can never figure out the computer thing, so I didn't get it off the thing. I got one from last year that I had not read because I'd always take extra ones. Anyway, they're both good, of course. One who tries to excuse himself deceives himself. Of yourself, you cannot make pride go, but I shall do it for you. Nevertheless, you must try. You must make the effort. And I feel that's like my theme song this year, Give It All to Baba. Effort and grace, right? And this is what I got via the computer. The only real desire is to see God, and the only real longing is to become one with God. To desire the real desire and to long for the real longing, you need my grace. And you cannot have that until you surrender all other desires and longings to me. That I'll always give it all to Baba. I love that. Give it all to Baba. Darwin, it was just he was immediate. He was so practical. You give it all to Baba and you don't have to figure if I use too much ego or too little or what you know. Anyway, I'm grateful to him. He had a head on his shoulders and a heart in his body. Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you, Rosalie. Beautiful.
Bill Byers.
Thank you, Angela and Jeff, for putting these quotes in our hands. Mine is fairly short. Without avoiding contact with the different aspects of life, maintain complete detachment in the midst of intense activity. For me, that ties in with Baba's command or advice or order to see him as being the one who does the actions that we do, which to me, that practicing that, which I do in spurts, helps to pry my ego away from the actions and their results. So that's a good one for me.
Yeah. Read it again, Billy.
Without avoiding contact with the different aspects of life, maintain complete detachment in the midst of intense activity. So that's a good one for me.
That's really sweet. Yay, very good. All right, Diane and Terry.
Terry will go first.
Happy New Year and Jay Bubba.
Oh.
The aspirant is generally conscious only of the manner in which he has been responding to the diverse situations in life, but he is rarely conscious of the manner in which he makes progress towards self-knowledge. Without consciously knowing it, the aspirant is gradually arriving at self-knowledge by traversing the inner path through his joys and sorrows, his happiness and suffering, his successes and failures, his efforts and rest, and through his moments of clear perception and harmonized will, as well as through moments of confusion and conflict. Should I read it again?
Yeah.
The aspirant is generally conscious only of the manner in which he has been responding to the diverse situations in life, but he is rarely conscious of the manner in which he makes progress towards self-knowledge. Without consciously knowing it, the aspirant is gradually arriving at self-knowledge by traversing the inner path through his joys and sorrows, his happiness and suffering, his successes and failures, his efforts and rest, and through his moments of clear perception and harmonized will, as well as through moments of confusion and conflict.
Guess who wrote that?
Yeah. MS around.
You know, Darwin used to like that quote because it doesn't seem like we're making progress if we just look at the external things that have happened, but inwardly we're moving along on the inner path, kind of unseen, sometimes unaware. You know, it's like having a child that that you know, you don't notice that it's growing day by day. But if your uncle comes along and sees you, thinks, you know, wow, look at how much he's grown. We're not so aware of it ourselves, you know. And not be discouraged by seemingly not making any progress, yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
And here's the voice that is heard deep within the soul is my voice, the voice of inspiration, of intuition, of guidance. Listen to the voice of the heart. Do not listen to the voice of the mind. Mind wavers, heart does not falter. Mind fears, heart is not daunted. Mind is the house of doubts, reasonings, and theories. MS Sawaran.
This is perfect for you, honey.
It's totally perfect for me. Because that radio station sometimes comes on way too loud. So I'm going to read it again because I imagine it might ring true. The voice that is heard deep within the soul is my voice, the voice of inspiration, of intuition, of guidance. Listen to the voice of the heart. Do not listen to the voice of the mind. Mind wavers, heart does not falter. Mind fears, heart is not daunted. Mind is the house of doubts, reasonings, and theories. And I think that the disconnection I've had from work this week and the influx of Baba Zooms has just exploded my heart. I feel like I'm back in India. And I can't thank you all enough.
Yeah, lovely.
So sweet. So sweet. All right, Janet, you're up.
All right. I'm going to need some help with this. And I don't see where I have a number on my quote, just to say. I don't know where to find that, but here's the quote. As a rule, sadhana, spiritual practice, involves effort, and sometimes even desperate effort, as in the case of an aspirant who may strive for detachment in the face of temptations. In love, though, there is no sense of effort because it is spontaneous. Spontaneity is the essence of true spirituality. One of the paradoxes connected with spiritual practices is that all effort of the aspirant is intended for arriving at a state of effortlessness. I'm just going to read that last line again. One of the paradoxes connected with spiritual practices is that all effort of the aspirant is intended for arriving at a state of effortlessness. M.S. Irani, Jai Baba.
Yeah.
I mean, what's hard for me about that one is the first part, that about sadhana involves effort and sometimes even desperate effort. Whereas in love, there is no sense of effort. So is Baba differentiating between the kind of spiritual practice that is devoid of love with the kind of spiritual practice that is love? I mean, am I interpreting that correctly? Anybody?
I think he's differentiating between the heart and the mind.
Okay.
Right?
That makes sense.
With mind, there's effort. With heart, there's no effort.
Gotcha. Ah, thank you. That makes a lot of sense. That helps.
If you were going to climb Mount Everest, if you're really thrilled and excited about doing it, it's a tremendous amount of effort, but it's kind of effortless because you have the enthusiasm.
Gotcha.
But otherwise, it's kind of willpower.
Yeah.
You know,
mm-hmm.
with not quite as much love in it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the love carries you. The love, there's a spontaneous explosion, so to speak, with the love that carries you. So it feels effortless, even though you are expending energy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that helps clarify. Thank you.
Love that. That's beautiful.
Oh.
All right. Jasimha, Shailaja?
Jai Baba all, Happy New Year.
Jai Baba.
I got this quote, so 537. It's beautiful quote. God is your innermost self. Do not search for God outside of you. M.S. Irani. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Angela and Jeff.
Yeah.
This quotes.
Would you read that one again?
Yeah. God is your innermost self. Do not search for God outside of you. Just so beautiful. Yeah. Thank you, Baba, for everything. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Yeah, I have my
Yes.
quote here. Okay, this seems to be a challenging one. When the aspirant meets the challenges of life's game, it becomes so exhilarating that there is little inclination to worry whether the goal is one or a crore, in brackets thousands, of lifetimes away. M.S. Irani.
Yeah.
We hear that one again too?
Yep. When the aspirant meets the challenges of life's game, it becomes so exhilarating that there is a little inclination to worry whether the goal is one or a crore, in brackets thousands, of lifetimes away. MS Irani.
The process becomes as fulfilling as the goal.
Thank you, Jeff, Angela.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Jai Baba.
Thank you for your help. They also helped to send some of them, so Jai Baba. Very sweet. And Elizabeth. Hearn, that is.
Angela, like you want to show this mandala?
You might have to take your background off.
Yeah.
They can't see it because of the background, sorry. Ah, there it is. Oh, beautiful.
Keep holding it.
A little closer, a little closer.
Tell her to speak.
Ooh.
There you go. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Mm.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Oh, look. So different. Isn't that sweet? Good. Print it again. Color it some more.
Yeah. It's so much fun. Thank you. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. And Elizabeth Hearn, you were up.
Me, Elizabeth?
Yes, Hearn, yes.
Think of me. Think of me more and more, and all your worries will disappear into the nothing that they really are. And it's one.
And sweet. Read it again. Read it again.
Think of me more and more, and all your worries will disappear into the nothing that they really are.
That reminds me of Mark Twain's line where he says, I've been through many trials and tribulations in this life, and most of them never happened.
What it reminds me of is when I think of Baba, is just something that I was always told when I was in India, of just remembering to remember. You know, it's so simple. And for someone who overthinks a lot, it brings me, it's just like an invitation to just get into that inner realm. You know, the inner links have been something that I really have loved, you know, sort of visiting this past year with, you know, Effort and Grace. Those wonderful talks that you've been doing, Jeff and Angela, just being stunning. You know, and I think Zoom is, you know, allows me to zoom in to one another's, you know, to our inner links. I just feel that we're present. You know, I mean, it helps that I know you, Jeff. I don't know anyone else here, I don't think today, but Faz, I think I know or I remember. But, you know, I close my eyes and I'm there in India, and that is such a gift of, you know, the inner links.
Yeah. Beautiful, yeah.
You know, this just goes on to the beloved prayer, you know, just more and more, you know, and I've started saying that at night and in the morning, and it's just beautiful, you know, to just, I didn't know this was the format, and I had a long readout to read from Kitty Davies that I sent to all my, I'm in London, so I sent it to all my Baba-loving girlfriends last night, and then I read it to my husband at midnight. And it was very much when she talks about love and Baba saying to her, you know, this is how you love me. I mean, beautiful. So,
do you want to read it? Is it too long, or is it?
No, just bear with me 1 second, because I think it's just really beautiful. Hold on. Okay. Baba clapped his hands and we came running. Then in the course of his talk with us, he spelled out on the board the different ways which each loved him. He turned to me and said, "And love me for love itself." It was not clear what Baba meant, but his words to this day remain deeply woven in my consciousness. Everyone teaches us that to accept what Baba says, not necessarily as a personal fact, but often as a pointer towards his desires. On one occasion to me, Baba said, "Love the one in the many and not the many in the one. I am the only friend who will never let you down." How difficult this is when we all know, but I think it is more nearly possible if we can love for the sake of love itself. Such flashes in the daily round, the common task, are rare indeed, but if they have experienced once, they can be experienced again until the flash becomes spontaneous and permanent. On this subject, Baba dictated directly from the board the following: "Love is the fountain of life-giving water. No one thing can live without love. Its expression varies according to the capacity of the receiver and the giver, and in its highest form, love is divinity."
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you. Wow. Oh, heartbreaking.
Well, just a side comment. You're very welcome here at the circle. This is your circle. Come back anytime. You know us. You do. You know us.
Thank you.
We're
It's
all
beautiful to receive that today, Angela. I love the mandala. It's just
good.
Stunning. And Jeff, it's great to see you again after all
Yeah.
these 100 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Yeah.
Jai Baba. And Marlene, you're up. You there? Marlene, you're off camera. All right, we'll come back to you. Elizabeth Weiss, oh goody.
Hi. My quote is now lost, but I just wrote it down. Okay. My proximity, the intimacy with me, changes the massive sanskaras. And sometimes you find sparks of good and bad flying out. All the impressions of the past, the accumulations of past sanskaras, all illusory things come out, which include both good and bad. I will help you. Don't worry. I like that one a lot, especially the last part. Always useful to hear again and again and again. So I appreciated it a lot.
Could we hear that again?
I can't. It says, my proximity, the intimacy with me, changes the mass of sanskaras. And sometimes you find sparks of good and bad flying out. All the impressions of the past, the accumulations of past sanskaras, all illusory things come out, which include both good and bad. I will help you. Don't worry.
You know, Eric said he was a very good person when he joined Baba. And then all the sparks of all the bad side of him came out. He was very disturbed. But Baba gave the figure of making sugar cane. You kind of boil the stalks and everything, and all the scum comes to the top. And Baba said, and I'm going to scrape off that scum. But he, as a young man, he was very upset with how, how he had lost his goodness that he first joined Baba with. That's what, so he thought,
I wanted to add something that, because it said the sparks flying out. Mani, Baba's sister, one time, she told about a time that they found a fire burning on one branch of this evergreen tree, near where they were. And they were so puzzled that it was just this very bright fire on one limb of this little pine tree. And they went and they asked Baba about it. He says, that was caused by one spark of my universal work.
Wow.
From off my universal work. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Right.
Marlene, go ahead.
Okay. Well, being the technical genius I am not, I have 3 quotes, but and one was very similar to Shraddha's quote about the spiritual aspirant, which was very relevant for me at this time, because this past week I've just been contemplating. I don't have an active regimented spiritual practice. Mine just is more of trying to incorporate Baba in life. And so that quote of this spiritual aspirant really was like, oh yes, Baba, thank you for this right now. And then this one, though, is most relevant because this is what I've been doing with a lot of my time and the course of the world today. When people pray for the spiritual benefit of those who have done them wrong, they are helping others spiritually. If you pray with a motive to do good to someone, your prayer may actually bring about good to both him and to yourself. M.S. Sarani. And I just love that so much because I just feel like Baba's saying, yes, it really is true. You can keep praying for all that you're praying for. So I'll read it one more time. When people pray for the spiritual benefit of those who have done them wrong, they are helping others spiritually. If you pray with a motive to do good to someone, your prayer may actually bring about good to both him and to yourself. And it was number 606.
And that's part of the work that you do, your group up there, right?
It's
Yes.
the healing school. Yes.
Yeah, fantastic.
I feel like I did a lot of that this year in 2020, praying for, we know what, I don't need to talk about that, but praying to infuse love in their hearts and compassion, those who just don't have it, and those who don't see what damage they're doing to themselves. Okay, Baba. Thank you.
In that sense, it's also been an entire year just praying and praying for so many people. I mean, it's just been a lot of grief and loss and change and lots of prayer. Yeah. It actually has been a very prayerful year. Fiddles, you're up next.
Okay. Hi, Jai Baba. Happy New Year to everyone. And it's amazing that I got this quote because I'm so stressed 24/7. The quote goes like this: the best is just to remember me and forget everything else. Leave everything to me. This is how you should live in the world. Otherwise, it's too complicated. M.S. Irani.
Well, it seems that quote was very necessary.
It was amazing when I received it. Thank you so much, Angela and Jeff. Thank you.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
It's interesting. Someone else got that quote too.
Oh, did they? Could I hear it again anyway?
Yeah.
Sure. The best is to remember me and to forget everything else. Leave everything to me. This is how you should live in the world. Otherwise, it's too complicated. M.S. Irani.
Baba knew that was an important one. We need that one.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba. Oh, and Seppi, yay.
Hi there. Happy New Year. Baba blessings to you all. Thank you so much for this, Angela and Jeff. I so appreciate it. This morning, I woke up, I was 8 hours ahead of you, and I said to Baba, I dedicate my day to you, the year to you. I came downstairs, made myself a cup of tea in this mug. I don't know whether you can read it. Where do I put it? It says, Seppi, keep calm and give it to Baba. And then we're on a theme. My quote was, your sincere efforts to do your best are enough. You cannot do more. The results are always left to God. Hence, I tell you not to worry. M.S. Irani. And it was, I'd been doing Baba's name in sparklers out in the freezing cold at midnight with my daughter and her boyfriend. And I was writing Baba's name with the sparklers. It was so exciting. It was wonderful. And then my son's been going through quite a lot of stuff and I'm trying to help him not worry about it. So I sent him this quote and I said, we're so close that this quote I know is for you as well. And he said it helped him. And I was glad, and he's getting closer and closer to Baba. But then I remembered another quote that I've written from a long time ago. It's not a quote of Baba, well, it is Baba's, but it was said to Wendy Haynes. And at our Sahavas in England, she told us about it, and I wrote it down, and I look at it all the time, which is, again, on the same theme. Don't allow yourself to be brought down by what I bring up. And I sent that to Shane as well. And he said, oh, that's brilliant. So I'm hoping that these wonderful quotes are helping us both and everybody else. Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
I want to remember that one. Can you put it in the chat?
Yes, of course. It's a bit slow, the chat on my little iPad, but I will do my best to get it on there.
Oh, okay, great.
What, the Wendy Haynes, the one that was told
just
to
put it in this chat right here.
Yeah, I know, I realize that. But I mean, the one that was told to Wendy when she was youngish, young person. Okay, will do. Thank you so much. And blessings to everyone.
Blessings to you.
Yeah, great, Seppi.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Bob.
I want to join all your talks, but you're a bit late for me.
It's a little late, yeah.
I will try one or two when I don't have to work the next day.
Yeah, you're time is difficult. The time change.
It's okay. I'm at the right ones I'm meant to be at, I'm sure. Thank you so much, everyone.
Beautiful. All right, Patty.
Good morning and Happy New Year to everyone. Jai Baba. Well, I've already been crying through most of these. I want to thank you for putting this together, Angela and Jeff, and it's wonderful to be included. And the quote I got was tearful for me and very appropriate. And I don't know that I can read it. Okay, just a minute. Okay, I'm trying. Okay. Okay, I know. Oh God, could you give me a minute? Okay.
Moved by your being moved. So sweet.
Okay.
We're happy
Okay.
to wait.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I need the quote. Do not be let down by what I bring up. Okay. Okay, here we go. I know exactly how you have tried, what you doubt, how you've tried to overcome this confusion, and how eventually you have to come to me. All that means that you have not failed me. MS Arani. Okay, I'll read it again. I know exactly how you have tried, what you doubt, how you've tried to overcome this confusion, and how you eventually have to come to me. All that means that you have not failed. MS Arani. So I think you can see that touched me very deeply, cracked my heart open, and it's a great way to start the new year, knowing I haven't failed, which, I think a lot of us along the path have those thoughts all the time that we can't please him. So, Jai Baba, and may he keep us in his orb always. Jai Baba.
Patty, I'd like to hear it again, please.
Oh God, you
It's so good.
No,
No, really.
Okay.
I remember, Patty, I remember you bringing the torch in that last time they ran the torch, and you had fallen down in Ahmednagar and got up, did not drop the torch. And I remember how happy Mara was when you came in with that torch. She says, oh, a woman brought the torch in. She was so thrilled. Yeah, just thrilled.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Rosalie. I know exactly how you have tried, what you doubt, how you've tried to overcome this confusion, and how you eventually have come to me. All that means that you have not failed. MS Arani. Oh yeah, Jai Baba.
Do you know what the number is of that, Patty?
I printed it out.
We'll find it.
Did you put it in the chat?
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. And thank you for printing them out. I look forward to doing the coloring on it, Angela. Very excited about that. Whew. Okay.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, Elizabeth Robertson, you're up.
Yes, I don't know if I can go after that. I'm actually still crying myself. Oh, well. Okay, so I'll do the first one. I got one from the center and one for Circle of Friends. So I'll do the one from the center first because it's short and everybody knows this one. Inscribe these words in your heart. Nothing is real but God. Nothing matters but love for God. Meher Baba. Now I'll go on to the one from the Circle of Friends. It's number 52. This was a good one for me. If someone abuses or insults us and becomes the cause of our suffering, or if we are harassed in any way, we should be grateful to such a person instead of reacting angrily with him, because he is the means of wiping out our sanskaras. Also, pity him. for he makes the load of his sanskaras more burdensome. M.S. Irani.
Read it again, please. Yeah.
Okay. If someone abuses or insults us and becomes the cause of our suffering, or if we are harassed in any way, we should be grateful to such a person instead of reacting angrily with him, because he is the means of wiping out our sanskaras. Also, pity him, for he makes the load of his sanskaras more burdensome. So it probably means he, she, we, they, us these days.
Correct.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
So am I supposed to talk about it?
If you want to.
Well, I mean, it is something that I didn't particularly want this one. Because I don't like it when people abuse or insult, but that actually does happen. That has happened in my life quite a bit. And for all kinds of reasons that I don't understand, but probably some have to do with jealousy, some have to do with power struggles, some have to do with all kinds of things that I don't even know about inside that person. Well, I mean, I could have done something as well. I mean, it's all of those things. But sometimes when it seems like it's just out of nowhere, and you've been nice to the person and love the person, or however it is, depending on whether it's a friend or someone in the family or whatever, and it's just completely ununderstandable. But knowing that these people are wiping out your sanskaras, they really are to be thanked, and it makes it more tolerable. And especially if you can follow up with doing what was said in a previous quote, praying for the person. And I think that actually, I think if it does help, it helps both people. And pitying the person for the load of sanskars that person's picking up by the abuse. So yeah, so it's helpful to have this understanding. And sometimes I wonder if someone that I clash with a lot, if we didn't make a pact before we came into this lifetime to get rid of the samskaras that each one is carrying, maybe different ones for different people, and maybe it was almost preordained to help each other. I don't know. I'm just, speculating.
No, I would say true. So true.
And if you have anything to add about where the quote came from, who it was said to originally, Jeff, or anything like that, I know it's one that's read fairly frequently.
I can't remember where it came from. I take no ownership.
Came from Baba.
True.
Yeah, I could probably find it, but actually nowadays you can just type these things into Lord Maher sometimes and it'll bring it up, the very place on a search.
Can I read out mine, Angela?
Oh yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, my name's Avovi. I'm in London as well, like Elizabeth. And it is quote number 531. Not through worldly wisdom, but by diving deep to the innermost, is it possible to be united with God, who is at once the lover and the beloved. For this union, one must summon the necessary courage to rise beyond the alluring shadows of the illusory world of sense perception. M.S. Hirani.
Can you read, would you please read that one again? Hivovi?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeff.
Yeah.
Not through worldly wisdom, but by diving deep to the innermost, is it possible to be united with God, who is at once the lover and the beloved. For this union, one must summon the necessary courage to rise beyond the alluring shadows of the illusory world of sense perception. M.S. Hirani.
What is that? Any thoughts about that?
I do resonate with those words actually, Jeff, for some reason, because the doubts are there and the courage is lacking at times. And it's come at the time when I think it's time for the courage to show its face. And I've been afraid.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's come at the right time. Thank you, Angela and Jeff.
And Priya, you're up.
Jai Baba, thought we needed a moment there. Okay, I shall read. Happy New Year, all of you. All of you look really, really lovely today. Really happy.
This is coming from Goa.
This is coming from Goa, live, yes. Okay, I got an exciting one and I had to wait all night because, you know, it came in the morning. Okay, it's 209, the number. And the quote is, "He who is intellectually convinced and also has heart can see God and can also make others see God. Whereas he who has only heart realizes God for himself alone and does not help others." I repeat it one more time. He who is intellectually convinced and also has heart can see God and can also make others see God. Whereas he who has only heart realizes God for himself alone and does not help others. Interesting one. And surprisingly, it hit home. I mean, in my personal life, I find it so difficult to translate what Baba is. And, you know, I mean, it's all love, it's all feeling, but like, so I guess there is something to that. But I'd love to hear if any of you have anything to say, if it resonates in some way or from.
That I just to say that that's a quote that that Baba gave to a reporter in Australia, using Francis Brabazon as one of the as the example of one who has heart and also has knowledge. But that, I mean, I'm just throwing that out as in context.
Yeah. Thank
Priya,
you.
Can I ask you to read it again?
Absolutely, Betty. He who is intellectually convinced and also has heart can see God and can also make others see God. Whereas he who has only heart realizes God for himself alone and does not help others.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Angela.
Yeah.
I can remember
Wow. Beautiful
Eric
gift.
saying that.
Very,
Eric
very special gift.
Waller used to say that.
Angela, I have to go for,
Oh, yeah, sure.
boy, this is very touching to hear all this. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, to hear Baba's messages in this concentrated a way, you know,
Yeah.
it's, boy, it's so rich from so many different aspects of life. God. Whew.
You started it, Jeff.
It's like
Yeah. Why the heck did I do
like-
this?
It's like having
I was
one of
free. I could have realized God for myself.
That's right.
Baba made you do it. It's Baba. Baba made you do it.
You were this close.
Thank you, Jeff.
Wow.
Thank you.
This reminds me of being in an Indian sweat lodge, but it's a spiritual sweat lodge and everyone is applicable. Everything that's coming out is applicable.
That's right.
It's a tremendous thing. The end of the year, it's fabulous.
So beautiful. Thank you, Jeff.
I was just going to say something about Priya's quote. I think that kind of does make it puts a little twist on things, but everyone goes to God. Single file is one way of putting it. You know, we all go for ourselves. We don't necessarily have the responsibility for other people. So our main responsibility is to open our hearts to love, to God, you know. That responsibility for others, that's not necessarily our job. Hate to say it that way, but it's true.
You can't.
No, you're right.
can
But I
leave
guess
water.
when you find this grandness, you cannot not share, right? I mean, it's just
shared,
yeah.
Doesn't that also describe the Mandali? I mean, even if they didn't think of themselves as intellectuals, I mean, some were, but not all, still they all have that, for me anyway, they all have that capacity to like inflame one's heart with love for Baba.
When I heard it, I was thinking about perfect masters, because only a few come down from God realization to help others. So that's what that made me think about.
Yeah, that's what I thought
Just
too.
goes by themselves, right?
I was surprised with that one because we've heard a lot about how you know, the intellectualism and monkey mind and all of that kind of more. I mean, it is true. Bob also talks all the time about merging the head and the heart. What I got out of that after thinking about it and after people have been talking here is that if you have that intellectual ability and then it's surrendered to the heart, then you're capable of passing along and sharing that experience so that others can take it in. That's what I got out of the quote. Totally different I've never heard that quote before, but it's a totally different way of, for me, I'm just speaking for myself, of looking at the intellect and thinking about the melding of the head and the heart.
I wanted to say something about these groups. You know, there were times when there was no connection with any other Baba lovers for me. And then I was just, Marlene reached out to me, and this morning Cassandra reached out to Marlene, and I remember being part of those meetings in Pennsylvania with Marlene and Cassandra. And I was thinking that how Baba has beautifully and delicately helped us integrate mind and heart through each other all along the way, you know, as we evolve, because at that time, those groups was complete, Cassandra and Marlene represented complete balances for me as a person. And I knew it was special. And now these groups, and Effort and Grace, and what we're doing today is just so important, because Baba has to creatively work through us. And even though, as Angela said, we're not technically responsible for another spiritual well-being, we have to take that on ourselves. We certainly do have an innate support system, and through love, we'll support each other.
Very expressive.
And I feel it's a whole different time and commitment now with each other, because even though I might not know anybody personally on this or meet them for the first time, I have a sense, a trust through Baba that if I reached out to any one of you or you reached out to me, be right there in that moment for each other. And that's spontaneous love expressed as Baba would hope we do. So thank you for this group and the quotes. The quotes have more light when we share them, and it hits the heart. So thank you.
The other thing I thought was that, if I make them just easily available, just like everything, it gets drowned in the mundanity. Having your own quote sent to you by email for this occasion, and then having a meeting right away to there's something very meaningful about, just like when Marvin reads the words to the RTs, or when we study the RT in the study class, you take these words apart and you just really savor. There's something to be savored about each of these quotes. It's a beautiful thing. You had your hand up, Heidi. Did you want to share anything else? Or oh yeah, and Cassandra, you had your hand up too.
I had 2 email addresses, so I got 2 quotes. And I wasn't going to read the second one, but then it occurred to me, well, maybe it's really meaningful to somebody else. So let me read that one. Oops, where is it? I put it away. Hold on. I got it. Where is it? Love cannot be born of mere determination. Through the exercise of will, one can at best be dutiful. A sense of duty comes to the individual as an external constraint on behavior. When, as in a sense of duty, love is predominantly impersonal, it often makes one cold, rigid, and mechanical. But in divine love, there is unrestrained freedom and unbounded spontaneity. That's number 21.
Can you please read that again? That is great.
Oh, good. I knew somebody would appreciate it. Okay. Love cannot be born of mere determination. Through the exercise of will, one can at best be dutiful. A sense of duty comes to the individual as an external constraint on behavior. When, as in a sense of duty, love is predominantly impersonal, it often makes one cold, rigid, and mechanical. But in divine love, there is unrestrained freedom and unbounded spontaneity. And did I mention MS Irani? Jai Baba.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to jump in, Cassandra, because you said you had 2 and I had 2, and I could barely get through the first one, but I've kind of recovered a little bit of myself. And this is I have 2 email addresses too, so I got 2, and I was going to let my husband read this, but he's not here. And this is on the same topic that you just read. Your love should be so deep that it makes you forget yourself and the world. This experience will leave you desireless, dazed, and confounded. This is real love, MS Irani. So I know it's the opposite. Your love should be so deep that it makes you forget yourself and the world. This experience will leave you desireless, dazed, and confounded. This is real love. And that's the wrong. So I got a kick out of that one.
It was funny.
All right, Jay Baba.
I wanted to share something for Elizabeth about your quote, let these words be inscribed on your heart. I knew it was something that Baba said in 1952 to Phil Adele. Adele and Phyllis Frederick, and let these, but I'll read a little bit because it's so beautiful. It adds a little more. It was on the evening of May 14th that Baba turned to Adele and Phyllis and gestured on the board. Nothing matters but love for God. Must have this love. One must drown in the lake of fire and come out unscathed to reach God. Phyllis, Adele, do you love me? It is my love. Do you understand? Yes, Baba. Hundreds of years from now, people will be talking about what we did here, what happened while the master was here. And then I will come again and again and again, and so will all of you. Phyllis and Adele, do you love me? You have been with me before. I have known you since ages. You do not know how long. Do not worry for anything. Only love more and more and more. Let these words be inscribed in your heart. Nothing is real but God. Yeah.
And then there's one more line. Nothing matters but love for God.
Yeah, Phyllis didn't put that in, but maybe as it goes on, but it's like, yeah, they had a whole week with Baba in 52, and they were Baba's guests. They weren't to do anything, not even to help with anything. So they were pretty privileged, Phyllis and Adele, yeah.
Was that in Myrtle Beach, Rosalie?
Yes, yes, in 1952. So that's really before the accident, you know.
Yeah, I am wondering if I might have caught a glimpse of Baba if they were there, because we used to take our vacations and in Myrtle Beach, and we used to go to the fairgrounds, you know, that with the Ferris wheel and all that. And the night my father died, I came after the funeral, came directly to the center and woke up in the middle of the night at the precise time he died. I was in the guest house and all kinds of funny things were happening. But I wanted something to read, and I opened one of Bao's books, and it was a story about the women Mandali taking a trip down to that amusement park. Baba not letting them get out, but he stared. And I just wonder sometimes, I don't know if I saw him or not, but I wonder if he stared in the direction of where we would have been, which would be kiddie trains and things like that, because I was quite young. But I don't know. But it makes me wonder, because it was the number of circumstances were so unusual.
Yeah, yeah. I always feel that, like, Baba came to Los Angeles in 56, and you know, there's a picture was in the paper, these beautiful picture of him gesturing, sitting at this hotel. And I look at those and I like seeing him, because I thought I could have seen him in the paper. I could have, you know, he was just miles away. It just thrills me to know, you know, because he was always doing many things at the same time.
Rosalie,
he could multitask.
We have a couple more hands up. Wayne, good to see you.
Oh, great to be here, Angela. Thank you. So it's really kind of a great pleasure to be able to share something that's not mine, that actually comes from Baba. So I'm going to get out of the way and just read it. To stick to me means to keep me pleased at the cost of your own comforts and pleasures. It means to remain resigned to my will, whether you keep good health or bad, whether you make money or lose it, and whether you gain name and fame or become the laughingstock of others. So I'll reread it, seems to help. To stick to me means to keep me pleased at the cost of your own comforts and pleasures. It means to remain resigned to my will, whether you keep good health or bad, whether you make money or lose it, and whether you gain fame, name, or become the laughingstock of others. So if speaking from what lands with me in some ways is, first is to keep me pleased. So how do I even know, right? How do I even know? And I guess what comes up as I ask the question and hear the question is maybe I don't need to know. The effort to try to keep him pleased may be the gift in all by itself. Maybe that's where the heart can come in. The being resigned to Baba's will without even necessarily even knowing what it is beyond being love, about just staying aware of love, keeping that alive, keeping Baba however I experience him alive. Yeah, something about just making the effort at any time is always rewarding and baffling. I mean, it's you know, to bring up a couple of things that have just been read, it's just I can definitely resonate with the sense that what I'm looking for is that experience of divine love that just, you know, totally confuses and confounds me, but leaves me spontaneous and flowing and alive and connected, you know, and being everything. So it's like, I always wondered what that would be like, to be everything, to you know, experience oneself as everything. It'd be an amazing thing. But understanding it, not a clue.
Confused and confounded.
Absolutely. So I surrender that, and here I am.
Here you are.
Yeah. And here you are.
In all our glory.
Mm-hmm. Especially today, which is great.
All our messy humanness, but grandness at the same time.
Well, you know, Wayne, as you were saying that, it brought up for me, you know, just having the thought, I wonder if this pleases Baba.
Mm-hmm.
Is enough.
Yeah.
Just having that thought would please him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's sweet. That's true.
I think the other thing that's coming up too is just in whatever we're doing and not doing. I just remember being aware, like in my first year with Baba, just about the effort, the remembrance to remember me, remember God, remember Baba at all times, as much as possible, every second, and how often I forget, and how I suddenly remember that I've been forgetting and realize that's a remember, you know, all that sort of stuff. But just feeling a grace from him about that, and that it's almost like acknowledging that even the times when I'm forgetting and apparently not paying attention, he's still unfolding what needs to happen. And in some ways, when I'm forgetting, I'm actually coming up against all kinds of experiences and limitations and challenges that make me go, hey, wait a minute, what's this all about? And so I turn back, you know, turn back to him, turn back to that experience, to find that experience of effortlessness, the grace part of effort. So, yeah. So it lets me be compassionate with myself and with others, you know, when they don't seem to be trying either. so grateful.
Compassion for ourselves. That's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
beautiful.
Knowing that that's what he gives us too.
We do the best we can. Yeah. Very good. And Marcia, you had your hand up.
I found another quote that you sent, and it says, "Do not worry about anything. Keep thinking of me, Meher Baba." And I was the world's biggest worrier, and it took me. I'm like 74, I think it took. I put that in the Dooney fire in 1994, and I'm finally getting rid of a lot of it. But I must have layers and layers and layers of worry. It's like, whoa. But the couple quotes back related to that, so it's like, do not worry about anything. Keep thinking of me, Meher Baba. All the quotes that we're reading seem to apply to everything almost, I mean, mostly. Some really target though, It's like, whoa. Thank you.
Basically, Baba never goes wrong, right? And Betty, go ahead.
I don't know why I have to be so shy. I have to wait till everybody's done there. Oh, there's somebody after me. Okay. This is 593. The aspirant is always willing to offer everything for the divine beloved, and no sacrifice is too difficult for him. All his thoughts, or hers, are turned away from the self and come to be exclusively centered on the divine beloved. Through the intensity of this ever-growing love, he eventually breaks through the shackles of the self and becomes united with the beloved. This is the consummation of love. When love has thus found its fruition, it has become divine. Wow. Shall I read it again?
Yes, please.
Yeah. The aspirant is always willing to offer everything for the divine beloved, and no sacrifice is too difficult for him. All his thoughts are turned away from the self and come to be exclusively centered on the divine beloved. Through the intensity of this ever-growing love, he eventually breaks through the shackles of the self and becomes united with the beloved. This is the consummation of love. When love has thus found its fruition, it has become divine. I like to think I'm on the way.
Of course you are.
You're on the way and you're taking me with you, girl.
That's true.
Can I say something?
Of course.
Okay, this was a message that Tanya sent us on our UK WhatsApp group, Meher Baba group on WhatsApp. And it was written by Mani in a family letter dated 1st of January 1961. May the New Year's resolve of those who love Baba be to make no resolutions, for our one and only resolve worth resolving has already been made, to hold on to his Dharman throughout till the very end. Let ours, therefore, be a prayer that we never waver in that resolve through calm and storm, and may our ancient one hear that prayer. Happy 2021 in beloved Baba's love and compassion.
Thank you.
Thank you, Baba.
And last but not least, hand up, Janice and, sorry, I forget your name. Yes.
Okay, well, I have to say that so many of the quotes that we've seen today have been very poignant, and I was saying a whole lot because sometimes he and I kind of go mano a mano, and anyways, there's a little issue that I always have with him, but the quote we got last night was, boy, he was just really talking to us. No one, however saintly he may be, has attained the heights of moral virtues except after a life of moral failings. And no one is so bad as to be unable to improve and become good. Everyone, no matter how depraved, can gradually become better and better until he becomes the best example for all mankind. There is always hope for everyone. No one is utterly lost, and no one need despair. M.S. Irani. I was like,
There is still hope for us.
yeah.
Colonel, just like love.
Yeah.
On to 2021.
I know your names, I just can't remember at the moment. Janice and
What did she say?
Jack and Janice.
Jack.
Yeah, yeah. And I actually didn't get a quote, but I just have a very short one from, this was from Easter last year at the center. Well, actually it was 2 years ago at the Mayor's Spiritual Center. So this is one that we got at Baba's house on Easter morning. In this life, I have told many tall tales, but now I realize that I myself am a fiction as improbable as any fable. That was Rumi.
Wow.
That's brilliant. Read it again. That's brilliant.
Okay. In this life, I have told many tall tales, but now I realize that I myself am a fiction as improbable as any fable. Rumi. Short but sweet.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And Pam and Danny. Not to be outdone as the last hand.
Okay, let us go on camera here. Okay.
Good to see you.
Here we are, Danny.
Oh.
Okay, we got 2 quotes to read. One was from the Maher Center, and that said, "Remember that although I do not perform miracles, I will give anything to whoever asks for it from the bottom of his heart. You ask wholeheartedly and you will get it from me, Meher Baba." And I've always liked that quote. And I've experienced that many times through his grace, because friends are always telling me, you have such a good hotline to God. Why don't you pray for me and all this stuff? And so I like, okay, well, guess that's my hotline. But anyway, I'm having trouble getting this off the screen now and onto the new. Let's see. Hold on, I was just about to print the one you gave me. Just a second. Okay, I'll just read it from my computer. How's that? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, here goes. You won't see me, my face, but I'll be reading it. In love, the annexation of another person to one's individual life is out of the question. And there is a free and creative outpouring that enlivens and replenishes the being of the beloved, independent of any expectations for the self. So we each have to bring ourselves up by our own bootstraps to Baba and not rely on each other to take us there. We're born as individuals and we die as individuals. We come to Baba as individuals. That's what I got from it. Danny, you have anything to say about that?
Not at the moment, no.
Pam, could you read it again?
Yes. Could you hear it okay when I said it?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
okay.
I heard it. I just want to hear it again.
Okay, here goes. In love, the annexation of another person to one's individual life is out of the question. And there is a free and creative outpouring that enlivens and replenishes the being of the beloved, independent of any expectations for the self. Mayor Baba. I'd like to thank Angela and Jeff for putting together this Sahavas, this quote Sahavas for us. And it's been really enriching.
Yeah, really wonderful.
So much love and so much significance in our lives that, you know, it touches each one of us, I think, not just the individuals that receive the quotes, but we all as a group, I think, have benefited so much.
So people watch these recordings, so they will benefit. Freya mentioned that I did not share mine. So here's what I got. So I put myself on the list because I'm on the list. The eye in love becomes very feeble. The moth around the candle flame wants union with the flame, but the wanting eye is so feeble that the moth does not think for a moment about the result and is not a bit afraid of being burnt. Nowhere does self-forgetfulness come so naturally and completely as in the intensity of love. What a sweet image. The eye in love becomes very feeble. The moth around the candle flame wants union with the flame, but the wanting eye is so feeble that the moth does not think for a moment about the result and is not a bit afraid of being burnt. Nowhere does self-forgetfulness come so naturally and completely as in the intensity of love.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Wow, that was really clear.
That was pretty clear, right? Just throw yourself in there.
Yep.
I love that you gave to yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm on the list.
So this is the real meaning of being burned out.
Yeah.
Literally burnt. Not a crisp list.
Angela's on her way.
I'm crisping myself. That was for you, Priya. I hope you appreciate it.
I love that quote for you, Angela. That was so perfect.
Wasn't it perfect?
Oh, that was just like, how could Mama pick a more perfect quote for you than that one? I mean, in every sense of the word. Really great.
Wonderful. Yeah, right. Just...
Yeah, thank you for being burned out for us. We love you.
Well, the whole thing.
Happy way.
That's the other beauty of this. You're always laughing and smiling about all this incredible amount of work you have done. I don't mean just you, I mean you and all the people that you rounded up to help you do this with you. And whether it's a host or somebody singing or somebody managing, you know, concerts or whatever, getting people to talk, raise their hands, whatever. And of course, it only works if we all contribute. So really, it's a great quote.
You know, Angela is like Miriam Florsheim energy. She is like our modern energy.
Sure.
She's the modern version that's come later for us all. Maybe she is energy. I don't know. There we go. The incarnation of energy right there. At least of her. Jai Baba.
Yay, Baba. I wish I knew.
Angela,
Angela, can we hear again?
Want to hear the quote again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll share it again. Why not? It's easy to read. The eye in love becomes very feeble. The moth around the candle flame wants union with the flame. But the wanting eye is so feeble that the moth does not think for a moment about the result and is not a bit afraid of being burnt. Nowhere does self-forgetfulness come so naturally and completely as in the intensity of love. Mm.
It makes me think of a must. The must, they get just, they're intoxicated with God. You know, just,
Nothing else mattered.
yeah. Yeah.
makes me think of a joke right now. You want to hear my joke?
Okay.
This is about a moth. So a moth goes into a doctor's office and he's sitting in the waiting room. And the doctor's finishing up his day and he comes out and he looks and there's a moth sitting in his waiting room. And he goes to the moth and says, "Can I help you?" And the moth says, "Oh, doc, my feet hurt. My wings are so tired. I'm just so sick of all this pain and everything. It's just too much. I've been going on forever and ever." And the doctor says to him, "Well, why did you come to me?" And he says, "Your light was on." Really is that simple.
That's a great joke.
That was great. So funny. Yeah.
Wow. This meeting has been
This was fantastic.
phenomenal. We'll do this again. I have to round up more help.
And I just can't stop telling you how awesome you are for doing all this, the work you put into it. People have no idea. So it was great. It was well worth it from our point of view. Thank you.
Yeah, it made my day for sure, and I'm sure made my year. Seriously.
I don't know if Angela sleeps.
I wondered that.
4 hours a day. You the 4 a.m. girl?
I am not a morning person, let me tell you. It's more than staying up late at night. That's my style.
And yet you're at every RT and you
Every RT. Yeah.
every
She's everywhere. She's everywhere.
she is everywhere, yeah.
Everything. Everywhere and everything, right?
You have a twin, do you?
I wish I did. He's so handy.
This has been a real feast, Angela. Really.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, all of
Thank
you.
everyone for your generous sharing. It was really wonderful.
Yeah.
The parts are obvious.
Avatar, Meher
Meher
Baba.
Baba ki jai.
Avatar,
Meher Baba ki
Jai.
jai.
Avatar,
Avatar,
Meher
Baba
Jai.
ki jai.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.